The final cut is a masterpiece. But the first draft is a war zone. This is between the frames. The opening shot of 1917 is deceptively simple. Two soldiers, Blake and Schofield, asleep in a field, awakened and summoned on a mission. The camera rises and follows them, and it seemingly never stops. For the next 2 hours, we are locked in real time with these men, through trenches, over no man's land, and into enemy territory. The immersive effect is total. But more than just immersive, it's psychologically taxing. In a normal film, every cut is a small release of tension. It's a breath, a blink, a reminder that you are safely outside the story. 1917 removes that safety net entirely. Without cuts, there is no escape. We are forced to endure every agonizing step, every trip and fall, every moment of rising panic. It feels less like watching a film and more like being haunted by a memory, but this is cinema's greatest magic trick. The film is not one shot. It's a complex quilt of takes, stitched together with such precision, the seams are invisible to the eye. So how do you edit a film that's not supposed to have edits? What happened between these frames to turn a collection of performances into a single, breathless nightmare? Sam Mendes' plan was always to shoot the film as a continuous experience, but he was pragmatic. He and cinematographer Roger Deakins knew they would capture long, meticulously rehearsed chunks of the journey. These weren't just long takes, they were monumental feats of logistics and choreography. Some takes ran for over 9 minutes, requiring the camera rig to be passed from a crane to a jeep to a wire cam, and then into the hands of a running operator, all while actors delivered their lines and navigated a treacherous pre-planned landscape. The coordination had to be perfect every single time. When this raw footage landed on editor Lee Smith's desk, the initial assembly was a series of these magnificent but separate, unbroken takes. The problem became immediately clear. Simply cutting from the end of one 9-minute sequence to the start of another, even if the action was continuous, was jarring. It was a hard cut, a blunt stop and start that shattered the fragile illusion of real time. It didn't feel like one continuous journey. It felt like a collection of impressive but disconnected long takes. The very thing designed to immerse you was now reminding you that you were just watching a movie. The obstacle wasn't just connecting these chunks. It was finding ways to do it that felt organic to the world of the film, not like an editor's convenient trick. The seams couldn't just be hidden, they had to feel like they belonged to the chaos of the battlefield. The solution was Lee Smith's brilliant strategy of using diegetic, hidden seams. Cuts disguised as natural events within the story world. These weren't afterthoughts, they were a foundational part of the film's design, a toolbox of techniques planned months in advance. First, the most definitive cut, the blackout cut. When Schofield is ambushed and knocked unconscious by a German soldier in the ruins of Ikust, the screen goes completely black. It's the single biggest break in the real-time narrative. The narrative excuse of unconsciousness provides perfect editorial cover for a major transition. When light returns, it's no longer day, but night. The city is lit by flares. The passage of time is justified by the story itself. The cut isn't just hidden, it's motivated by the plot. Second, the whip pan and obscuration cut. This is where the camera's own movement becomes the editor's best friend. In the trenches, the camera might whip pan violently to follow a running soldier or react to a sudden noise. In that momentary blur of motion, Smith could cut from the end of one take to the beginning of another. The audience's eye can't register the switch. Similarly, an object or character passing close to the lens creates a momentary visual obstruction. A great example is when Schofield descends into the darkness of the German bunker. As his body fills the frame, plunging it into near blackness, the editor has the perfect opportunity to stitch one take to another. The same happens when Schofield tumbles into the river. The splash and submersion provide a chaotic visual mask for a cut. And finally, the most intricate method, the digital stitch. For moments where no natural cover existed, the visual effects artists at MPC performed pixel-perfect surgery. They would meticulously find a single frame where the action and composition matched almost perfectly between two different takes, a hand touching a wall, a shoulder brushing past a post. Then, they would digitally blend these two frames together, sometimes painting out subtle differences in the background, or even removing crew members accidentally caught in the reflection of a puddle. This wasn't a cut, in the traditional sense, but a seamless fusion of pixels, creating a single, unbroken image from two separate performances. This toolbox of hidden seams transformed the film from a technical exercise into an emotional powerhouse. The cuts aren't just connecting takes, they often coincide with emotional or narrative pivots. A whip pan cut might happen just as the soldiers receive startling new information, mirroring their disorientation. A cut, hidden by an explosion, coincides with a sudden spike in their fear and desperation. The technique becomes the film's invisible narrator, reinforcing the story's themes. The relentless, inescapable passage of time is central to the soldiers' experience. Their mission is a race against the clock, and the one-shot style makes us feel that pressure in our bones. Every second we spend with them is a second ticking down for the 1,600 men they are trying to save. There's no relief, no fast-forwarding through the mundane or the terrifying. The editing, by refusing to offer traditional cuts, forces us to experience that constant, grinding pressure. The true architects of this seamlessness were the unsung heroes, the assistant editors and VFX artists who logged every single frame, searching for those perfect match points, and the production crew who designed entire sets and choreographed complex actions with these potential cut points built directly into the plan. 1917 proves that a stylistic constraint, in this case the one-shot illusion, forces radical innovation in every other department. The edit didn't just assemble the film in post-production. It actively collaborated with direction, cinematography, production design, and visual effects from day one to maintain the core illusion. The legacy of 1917 is a masterclass in how edit points can be baked into the very DNA of a screenplay and its production, not just discovered by chance in an editing suite. So what's the actionable legacy for us as creators? It's this principle: design the edit into the action. The editors of 1917 didn't just find hiding places for their cuts, they worked with the director and crew to create them. When you're planning your next project, don't wait until post-production to think about transitions. If you want a seamless flow, what action, movement, or event in your scene can naturally mask a cut? A character walking past the camera, a flash of light, a pan across a room. The most powerful edits are often those that feel like an inseparable part of the story's reality, not a break from it. How can you hide a seam in your next project? Let us know your ideas in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Between the Frames.